You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. What if I told you that in just 24 hours you could clear the mental clutter, reset your focus, and wake up tomorrow with the calm confidence of a stoic warrior? Not in a week, not in a month, but starting right now. Most of us carry invisible weights, regrets from yesterday, distractions from today, and worries about tomorrow. They pile up, draining our energy and making even small challenges feel overwhelming. But the Stoics knew a secret: life can be recalibrated in a single day if you approach it with clarity, discipline, and deliberate action. This isn't about motivation that fades after an hour. This is about rewiring your mindset so that when tomorrow comes, you're sharper, calmer, and unshakable. In this 24-hour Stoic Reset, I'll walk you through ancient principles and modern strategies to declutter your thoughts, strengthen your resolve, and prepare you to conquer the day ahead. Stay with me until the very end because each step builds on the last. Miss one and you'll miss the transformation. But if you commit tomorrow, you'll be unstoppable. Number 1, morning clarity meditation to set your intention. The way you start your morning is the way you set the tone for the entire day. The Stoics knew this well. Began his days with mental preparation, reminding himself of the kind of world he was stepping into and the kind of man he wanted to be in it. He didn't wait for the world to decide his mindset. He chose it deliberately. That's exactly what morning clarity meditation is about, claiming ownership over your inner state before the chaos of the day gets a chance to claim it for you. When you wake, don't rush for your phone, don't dive into the noise. Sit, breathe, feel the stillness of the moment before the world demands something from you. This is your space to decide. What do I stand for today? What energy do I want to carry? What distractions will I refuse to let in? This is intention setting in its form, not wishful thinking, but a conscious commitment. Epictitus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That's the heart of the practice. You're not drifting into the day, you're steering into it. And clarity is your compass. The clearer you are about your values, your goals, and your boundaries, the less likely you are to be pulled into petty conflicts, pointless worries, or meaningless busyness. This isn't just positive thinking. It's mental armor. A short, focused meditation each morning acts like sharpening your blade before the battle. You cut through noise, indecision, and emotional reactivity with a calm, deliberate mind. You're training yourself to respond rather than react, to stay centered no matter what's thrown at you. Here's a simple exercise. Find your stillness, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath for a minute or two. Recall your principles. Silently affirm 1 or 2 Stoic virtues you want to live by today: wisdom, courage, self-control, or justice. Visualize the day ahead. Imagine potential challenges. Then see yourself meeting them with calm strength. Set your intention, phrase it clearly. Today, I will act with patience and clarity, or today, I will speak only what is necessary and true. Seal it with presence. Take 1 deep breath in, 1 deep breath out, and carry that centeredness into your first action. If you make this a habit, your mornings stop being frantic launches into uncertainty and become deliberate openings into purposeful action. You're no longer a passenger in your own life. You're the captain. And in the words of Seneca, if a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Morning clarity meditation ensures you know exactly where your port is. Number 2, Stoic journaling to align thoughts with values. Stoic journaling isn't just about scribbling down thoughts. It's a deliberate, conscious act of tuning your mind to the frequency of your deepest values, like a craftsman sharpening a blade before work. Didn't write his meditations for others. He wrote them for himself, to remind his mind how to think, how to see, how to live. And you can do the same. When you sit down to journal, you're not just recording events. You're building a mirror for your inner life. You're asking, am I living today in alignment with the principles I claim to hold? If you're honest, sometimes the answer will sting. That's good. The Stoics believed that awareness is the first step toward mastery. Without seeing where you've strayed, you can't step back onto the path. The process is simple but powerful. Start with reflection. Ask yourself, what thoughts guided me today? Were they worthy of me? Identify where you drifted. Don't hide from moments where fear, vanity, or anger took the wheel. Face them with courage. Reaffirm your compass. Write down the virtues you want to embody tomorrow. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Seneca wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said." That's not just poetic, it's practical. You can do the same tonight, even in 5 minutes. The real key is to write as if you were speaking to your higher self. Be blunt, be truthful, be uncompromising. You're not there to flatter yourself, you're there to realign. And you'll find that the act of writing slows down your mind enough to notice patterns you would otherwise ignore. That's when breakthroughs happen, when you see the repeated mistake that's been holding you back, or when you realize you've been living closer to your values than you thought. Try this exercise tonight. 3 alignments. Write 3 moments today where your actions matched your values. Relive them, appreciate them. 1 correction. Choose 1 moment you could have handled better. Write how you will handle it next time. Tomorrow's anchor. Write 1 Stoic principle to carry into tomorrow. Keep it in your pocket, in your head, in your heart. This isn't a diary for nostalgia. It's a discipline for transformation. By making Stoic journaling a nightly ritual, you give your mind a daily reset. You end the day lighter, clearer, and stronger, ready to meet tomorrow without carrying the mental debris of yesterday. The question isn't whether you have time to do it. The question is, do you have time not to? Number 3, midday reality check to stay grounded. Midday has a strange way of sneaking up on you. One moment you're deep in your morning rhythm, and the next, your mind feels cluttered, scattered, maybe even overwhelmed. This is exactly where the Stoic midday reality check becomes your reset button, a deliberate pause to pull yourself back from the fog of automatic living into a place of clarity and control. Wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That's the essence here. Around midday, life has already thrown a few curveballs your way. Maybe unexpected messages, shifting priorities, or creeping fatigue. Without a conscious check-in, your mind begins drifting, reacting, and losing its grip on the purposeful direction you set in the morning. So here's what you do. Stop. For just a few minutes, step out of the mental traffic. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, am I still living today according to my values, or have I slipped into reacting without thought? This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. You're not here to scold yourself, you're here to realign. A midday reality check is a short but potent act of self-mastery. It strips away the noise and reminds you of what matters most in the hours you have left. The Stoics understood that without frequent course correction, the mind drifts toward trivialities. Epictitus put it plainly, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your midday pause is the moment to ensure that your reactions are still yours, not dictated by mood, fatigue, or distraction. Here's a simple exercise. Pause the momentum, stop whatever you're doing. Let silence or stillness cut through the noise. Assess your mental state. Ask, what am I feeling right now? Where is my attention? Reaffirm your purpose. Remind yourself of your top priority for the rest of the day. Not 10 things, just 1. Release the clutter. Mentally let go of the small irritations or worries that have built up since morning. Restart with intention. Return to your next action with the confidence that it aligns with your bigger aim. The power of this ritual lies in its brevity and honesty. You're simply holding your mind up to a mirror and saying, "This is where I am. Is this where I want to be?" Even 2 minutes of this can dissolve the autopilot haze and restore the sense of being the captain of your own ship. Remember, your day isn't decided by how it starts, but by how you keep steering it. A midday reality check is your chance to take the wheel again before the afternoon sweeps you away. And when you practice this daily, you'll notice something subtle but profound. You stop losing your days to distraction and start ending them on your own terms. Number 4, evening gratitude and self-assessment ritual. The Stoics believe that the end of each day isn't just a time to switch off. It's a sacred checkpoint for your mind. Often wrote in his meditations as if he were holding a quiet conversation with himself, questioning his motives, his actions, and his thoughts. Seneca advised, each day we should call ourselves to account. This is where the evening ritual of gratitude and self-assessment comes in, not as a mechanical routine, but as a deep, deliberate act of alignment with your best self. You close your eyes for a moment and think, what went well today? Not in the shallow sense of what felt good, but in the sense of what strengthened your character. Gratitude in Stoic practice isn't about ignoring the storms. It's about recognizing the ships that carried you safely through them. You acknowledge the small victories, the times you held your tongue when provoked, the moments you acted with integrity when no one was watching, the quiet decisions that shaped your path in ways no one will ever know. Then comes the other side of the ritual, self-assessment. This isn't self-punishment. It's not about flogging yourself for every flaw. It's about honest inspection, like a skilled craftsman examining his work at the end of the day. Ask yourself, where did I fall short of my own principles? Where did I react out of impulse rather than reason? The aim isn't shame, it's refinement. As Epictitus said, difficulties show what men are. Each shortcoming is simply a signpost pointing to where you can grow stronger. To make this powerful, you need structure. Here's a practical sequence. 3 points of gratitude, write them down. They must be specific and tied to virtues, patience, courage, discipline, not just circumstances. 3 points of improvement, again, write them down. Keep them actionable. Be less distracted becomes silence my phone during work blocks. 1 commitment for tomorrow. End the reflection with a single, clear intention for the next day. When you combine gratitude with self-assessment, something shifts. Gratitude keeps you grounded in what's already good. Self-assessment stops you from getting complacent. Together, they create a mental reset, closing the chapter of the day with dignity and opening the next with purpose. Here's the truth. Without this nightly audit, the days blur together. You risk repeating the same mistakes while overlooking your quiet progress. But when you commit to this ritual, every day becomes a training ground, every night a teacher. You start noticing patterns, how your mornings go better after an early sleep, how your mood changes when you neglect reflection. By the time you lay your head on the pillow, you're not carrying the weight of unprocessed thoughts. You've given thanks for what's worth keeping and released what no longer serves you. That's the Stoic way, living each day as a complete life in itself. And tomorrow, you rise lighter, sharper, and more prepared to conquer it. Number 5, digital detox before bed for mental reset. Let's be honest, you can't reset your mind if you're still tethered to the noise of 1,000 glowing pixels. The hour before you sleep is not just wind-down time, it's sacred ground. The Stoics would see it as the final watch of the day, where you guard your mental gates from unnecessary invaders. You have power over your mind, not outside events, reminds us. Your screen. That's an outside event disguised as necessity. Think about it, when you go to bed right after scrolling, you're not really resting. You're just carrying other people's thoughts, opinions, and chaos into your dreams. Your brain doesn't shut down. It stays busy replaying images, conversations, and half-read arguments. That's not rest. That's mental clutter. A digital detox before bed is about reclaiming the quiet your mind deserves. Here's the Stoic angle. You can't start tomorrow strong if you're still entangled in today's noise. Detaching from your devices isn't a punishment. It's an intentional act of self-respect. You're telling your mind, you matter more than my feed. And when you consistently choose stillness over stimulation, you train yourself to value clarity above distraction. Start simple. Pick a cutoff time, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Power down your phone, close your laptop, and silence notifications. Replace that blue light haze with something grounding. A few minutes of slow breathing, jotting down your thoughts, or reviewing your day like a stoic, without judgment, just observation. This is when you can ask yourself, did I live according to my principles today? Did I let anything small steal my peace? The shift you'll feel won't be subtle. Sleep will deepen. Your morning mind will be sharper, lighter. Over time, you'll notice you wake up without that lingering sense of heaviness from last night's digital fog. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you step away from the constant pull of screens, the more you realize you never needed them to end your day feeling complete. Practical Stoic exercise for tonight. Set your device exile hour. Be strict. Treat it like an unbreakable meeting with yourself. Write down one lesson from the day. Not a complaint, not a plan, just one thing you learned. Spend a few minutes in silence. No music, no background noise, just you and your breath. End with a mental reset phrase. Something like, today is done, I release it. The Stoics didn't have smartphones, but they knew the value of guarding their attention. In the same way they turned away from idle chatter in the marketplace, you can turn away from the endless scroll. Tonight, you're not just logging off. You're fortifying the walls of your mind so tomorrow, you wake ready to conquer. As once reminded himself, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Today, you've taken a step toward that. You've hit the reset button, reclaimed your focus, and chosen to meet tomorrow with clarity and strength. But remember, Stoicism isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily practice. The real transformation happens when you take what you've learned here and live it, moment by moment, choice by choice. So as you step away from this video, carry this mindset forward. You control your mind, your actions, and your attitude. Everything else, it's noise. If you found value in this 24-hour Stoic reset, don't let it end here. Revisit these principles, share them with someone who needs them, and keep building the unshakable self you're capable of becoming. The day is yours. Go out there and conquer it like a Stoic. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Aristotle. What if I told you that becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected person in any room doesn't require flashy degrees or excessive accolades? In fact, it's not about impressing others with your knowledge, but about mastering the most important person, yourself. The Stoics understood that true wisdom, respect, and intelligence come from within, not from external validation. In this video, we'll explore how you can cultivate wisdom, enhance your intellect, and earn respect by adopting core Stoic principles. Instead of seeking approval from the world, the Stoics teach us to focus on our own growth, controlling our emotions, sharpening our reasoning, and living with integrity. These practices will not only elevate your mental clarity, but will also help you command respect and become a beacon of wisdom in your community. But here's the secret. To truly embody these qualities, you need to stick with us till the end. Every Stoic lesson builds on the last, creating a powerful transformation that will help you navigate the world with confidence and authority. Don't miss out. Let's unlock the Stoic path to becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected version of yourself. Number 1, practice humility and avoid arrogance. When we talk about being the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, there's one habit you can't afford to ignore: humility. The Stoics were all about understanding their place in the grand scheme of things, and embracing humility is one of the most powerful ways you can elevate yourself. You see, arrogance, that need to prove you're better than others, only drags you down. Humility, on the other hand, lifts you up, toward wisdom, toward respect, and ultimately toward becoming the best version of yourself. First things first, let's get real. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life and start thinking you're above it all. You've had some success, maybe people look up to you, or maybe you just feel like you know more than most. But here's the truth: arrogance is a trap. It's the very thing that prevents you from growing, from learning, and from truly understanding the world and the people around you. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic emperors, said, "Don't be ashamed to be helped. It is your responsibility to make progress, not to appear perfect." This quote alone should be a wake-up call. Being humble means recognizing that you're not perfect and that there's always room for improvement. No matter how much you know or how far you've come, there's always something new to learn. Humility keeps you open, keeps you curious. Think about it. When you're humble, you're more likely to listen. You're more likely to seek advice, reflect on your actions, and adapt. You become less defensive and more willing to consider that someone else might have a perspective that you haven't thought about. And trust me, in a world that's constantly changing, that's a key trait to have. The smartest person in the room isn't the one who talks the loudest or knows the most. It's the one who listens the closest. Now I know what you might be thinking, but isn't being humble the same as being weak? Doesn't it make me a pushover? Absolutely not. Humility doesn't mean you lack confidence. It doesn't mean you shrink away from your own strength. Quite the opposite. It means you recognize that strength doesn't come from putting others down. It comes from knowing when to rise and when to listen. It means you trust your abilities without feeling the need to flaunt them. It's about confidence without arrogance. Here's the thing. The more you practice humility, the more you earn respect. And that respect is because you're pretending to be someone you're not. No, it's because you've demonstrated wisdom in action. You've shown that you understand the value of others, that you don't feel threatened by them, and that you are, at heart, focused on becoming the best version of yourself, not the best compared to others. So, how can you actually practice humility on a daily basis? Here are a few simple exercises to get you started. Ask for feedback regularly. Get comfortable with asking others for their opinions, whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth. Don't just ask because you're looking for compliments. Ask with the intention to grow, to improve, and to learn from the people around you. When you ask for feedback, you show that you're willing to listen, and you're acknowledging that others' perspectives matter just as much as your own. Acknowledge your limits. Take a moment each day to reflect on where you could improve. What are the areas where you might be lacking knowledge or skill? Humility means accepting that you're not perfect and that you don't have all the answers. Don't shy away from your weaknesses. Instead, embrace them and look for ways to turn them into strengths. Serve others without expecting recognition. Practice acts of kindness and service without the need for praise or acknowledgement. Whether it's helping a colleague, offering advice without expecting anything in return, or simply being there for someone who needs it, doing things for others without needing recognition is a powerful way to practice humility. The Stoic philosopher Epictitus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, be the person who acts with humility, regardless of whether anyone notices. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. Whenever you feel pride creeping in, remind yourself that you are just one small part of a much larger world. The universe doesn't revolve around you, and your achievements, while important, are just a tiny piece of the grand design. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This thought alone can put things into perspective and help you maintain humility when success or recognition comes your way. Remember, becoming the wisest, smartest, and most respected version of yourself doesn't come from bragging about your achievements or showing off your talents. It comes from understanding that the pursuit of wisdom is ongoing, that no one ever truly arrives, and that humility keeps you grounded while you grow. So today, start small. Reflect, listen, serve, and acknowledge your limits. That's how you begin to transform into someone who is respected not because of arrogance, but because of genuine, humble wisdom. Number 2, seek knowledge through continuous learning. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected person in the room, there's one habit you absolutely must embrace: the pursuit of knowledge through continuous learning. This isn't just about reading books or attending seminars. It's about making learning a part of who you are. The Stoics were relentless in their quest for knowledge, but not in a superficial way. They didn't seek knowledge for the sake of showing off how much they knew. They sought it because they knew that knowledge, true, practical knowledge, was a path to wisdom and a key to living a fulfilled life. The beauty of continuous learning is that it keeps your mind sharp, your perspectives fresh, and your actions aligned with wisdom. In a world that's constantly evolving, the idea of standing still, of thinking you've reached the peak of your knowledge, is the very thing that'll hold you back. You might think, I've learned enough, but that mindset is exactly what keeps you stuck. The most respected people aren't the ones who know it all, but the ones who are always looking to learn more. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." In other words, if you wait until everything is perfect, if you wait until you feel ready, you'll find that life has passed you by. The truth is, learning doesn't stop after school or after a certain age. You don't suddenly hit some invisible threshold where there's no more to learn. That's why it's crucial to cultivate a mindset that's always open to new ideas, new experiences, and new insights. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you need to cram every piece of information you come across into your brain. The Stoics were selective about their learning. They didn't just consume knowledge, they integrated it. They used knowledge to improve themselves, to act with purpose, and to grow in wisdom. Epictitus, one of the most famous Stoics, said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." What he's getting at here is that real learning comes from observing and absorbing, not from spitting out everything you know. So, how can you start cultivating a habit of continuous learning today? It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about building small, consistent habits that add up over time. Set a daily learning goal. This doesn't have to be huge. It could be reading a chapter of a book, listening to a podcast on a topic that interests you, or even watching a short video that challenges your perspective. The key is consistency. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of debating what you should learn, just start learning. Pick something and dive in. Learn from every experience. Learning doesn't just happen in books or lectures. Every day is an opportunity to learn, whether you're navigating a challenging conversation, solving a problem, or making a decision. Reflect on your actions. Ask yourself, what went well? What could I have done better? This kind of reflection is essential in honing your wisdom. Remember, the Stoics believed that every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to grow. As Epictitus puts it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Seek out mentors and wise people. The Stoics were big on the idea of learning from those who have come before you. This doesn't necessarily mean a formal mentor. It could be anyone who's walked a path you admire and can teach you through their words or actions. The key is humility. You have to be open to learning from others, no matter their age or background. You might not always agree with them, but you can always learn something valuable. You'll be surprised at how much wisdom you can absorb from the people around you. Challenge your beliefs and comfort zones. If you want to truly grow, you need to be willing to challenge yourself. Don't just stick to what's familiar or comfortable. Pick up books or watch talks on subjects that push you to think differently, that force you to confront your biases. The Stoics often put themselves in discomfort to build resilience and strength. Seneca famously said, "No man was ever wise by chance." Wisdom requires effort and an openness to being wrong. Don't be afraid of discomfort. It's often the best place for growth. Make reflection a habit. One of the Stoics' greatest tools for learning was daily reflection. Every evening, Marcus Aurelius would reflect on his day, examining what he did well, where he could improve, and what he could learn from the challenges he faced. You don't have to do it in a journal like he did, but you should take time to ask yourself questions like, what did I learn today? What could I do better tomorrow? This kind of reflection sharpens your ability to see patterns in your actions and the world around you, making you a more informed and capable person. So let's sum this up. To be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, you must commit to continuous learning. Start small, stay consistent, and always be open to growth. Knowledge isn't just something to accumulate, it's something to apply. By learning and growing every single day, you'll begin to embody the wisdom and respect you're striving for. And just like the Stoics, you'll find that the true joy isn't in knowing it all, but in the process of becoming. Number 3, cultivate emotional resilience and control. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, then you absolutely must cultivate emotional resilience and control. Emotions, those fleeting, sometimes overwhelming bursts of feeling, can either make you or break you. They can be a source of strength, or they can cloud your judgment and steer you off course. The Stoics understood this well. They weren't trying to suppress their emotions, but rather to control them, to respond with wisdom, not react impulsively. And that's exactly what you can do too. Think about it for a second. How many times have you reacted out of frustration, anger, or fear, only to regret it later? We've all been there. But the truth is, these moments of emotional chaos can be avoided if you take control of your inner state. The Stoics believed that while you can't control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them, Epictitus wisely said. This is where emotional resilience comes in. So what does it mean to cultivate emotional resilience and control? It means building the strength to handle life's inevitable challenges with a calm mind and a steady heart. It's about being able to face adversity without letting your emotions dictate your actions. It's about maintaining your composure, no matter what life throws at you. And let's be real, life will throw things at you. But what if you could face every challenge with the same calm, clear-headed approach, no matter how intense the situation? The first step toward building this kind of resilience is acknowledging that emotions are natural. They're not something you should suppress or ignore, but rather something you should learn to navigate. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The key takeaway here: you can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you choose to respond. Your emotions might rise up, but you don't have to let them control you. One way to start practicing emotional control is by pausing before reacting. It sounds simple, but in the heat of the moment, it can be one of the hardest things to do. When you feel frustration, anger, or anxiety bubbling up, take a breath. Just pause. Step back for a moment and give yourself the space to think before you react. In that pause, you can make a choice. You can decide to respond calmly with intention, or you can let the emotion take the wheel. A great Stoic practice for this is called the premeditation of adversity. Before you face something challenging, a difficult conversation, a tough decision, or a stressful situation, take a moment to visualize the emotions you might experience. Picture how you might feel in that moment, and then picture yourself staying calm, responding with wisdom, and handling it like a Stoic. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to expect difficulties, saying, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By mentally preparing yourself for challenges, you condition your mind to stay composed when they actually arrive. Another important practice is self-reflection. At the end of each day, reflect on the emotions you experienced. What triggered them? Did you react impulsively? How could you have handled the situation differently? This kind of reflection allows you to learn from each experience, improving your emotional resilience over time. As Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Often, our emotional responses are more intense than the actual situation warrants. By reflecting, you'll start to see patterns in your emotional responses, giving you the power to change them. You can also work on cultivating a sense of detachment from your emotions. This doesn't mean you suppress them. It means you learn to observe them without getting swept away by them. When anger or frustration rises, instead of diving into the emotion, take a step back and observe it as if you're watching it happen to someone else. What's behind the emotion? Is it really justified? Is this feeling going to serve you in the long run? This level of detachment allows you to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Let's break down a few practical exercises to help you build emotional resilience and control. Daily reflection. Every evening, reflect on your day. Ask yourself, what emotions did I experience today? What triggered them? How did I respond? Take note of your emotional responses and think about how you could have handled them more calmly. This daily check-in will make you more aware of your emotional patterns and help you improve over time. The pause button. Practice pausing before reacting to emotional triggers. The next time you feel yourself getting upset or frustrated, take a deep breath and count to 3. This simple pause gives you a moment to reflect on your response and ensures you don't act impulsively. Premeditation of adversity. Each morning, mentally prepare yourself for potential challenges. Visualize difficult situations and imagine yourself handling them with grace, calmness, and wisdom. This exercise primes your mind to stay composed when real challenges arise. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to shift your emotional state. When you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or stressed, take a moment to list 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, helping you maintain emotional balance. Remember, emotional resilience is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. By taking control of your emotions and responding with wisdom, you'll not only navigate life's challenges with ease, but you'll also earn the respect of those around you. Emotional resilience isn't about avoiding emotions. It's about mastering them, using them as tools for growth rather than obstacles. And as you do, you'll find yourself becoming the calm, wise, and respected person you aspire to be. Number 4. Lead by example and act with integrity. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, one of the most powerful things you can do is to lead by example and act with integrity. It sounds simple, but there's a depth to it that can transform not only how people see you, but how you see yourself. In the Stoic tradition, integrity isn't just about doing the right thing when people are watching. It's about aligning your actions with your values, regardless of the circumstances. It's about being the kind of person others can rely on, not because you're perfect, but because you consistently act in a way that's true to your word and your principles. Let's face it, we live in a world where it's easy to say one thing and do another. It's easy to promise things you can't deliver or to act in ways that are convenient in the moment but don't reflect who you want to be. But here's the catch: actions speak louder than words. If you want respect, you have to earn it, and you do that by being the kind of person who stands by their values no matter the situation. The Stoics knew this. They didn't just teach about being wise, they lived it with unwavering integrity. As Marcus Aurelius put it, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So, how can you start leading by example and acting with integrity today? It's about making conscious choices to align your behavior with your beliefs and doing so consistently. Let's break it down. 1. Know your core values. Before you can act with integrity, you need to be clear on what your core values are. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? Is it honesty, kindness, responsibility, courage? The Stoics were very intentional about defining their values. They didn't wait for life to hand them a moral compass. They created one. Seneca said, "A good character is not made by accident. It's the result of intentional decisions and consistent actions." So take a moment to think about your own values. Write them down. What principles guide your actions? This is the foundation for everything else you'll do. Without clarity here, it's easy to waver and fall into habits that contradict who you want to be. 2. Lead with your actions, not your words. It's easy to tell people what they should do. It's harder to show them. Leading by example means living out your values every day, even when it's not convenient. It means being the person who does what they say they're going to do, regardless of who's watching. When you align your actions with your values, you naturally become a role model for those around you. The Stoics didn't believe in talking the talk without walking the walk. Epictitus famously said, "If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money but subtract from your desire." What he's getting at is that we often talk a good game, but our actions tell the real story. If you say you value honesty but tell little white lies here and there, your actions speak louder than your words. If you claim to value responsibility but constantly shirk your duties, it doesn't matter what you say, people will notice. Ask yourself, am I walking my talk? If not, it's time to start living in alignment with your values, even when it's difficult. Every action you take is a reflection of your character. 3. Embrace responsibility, even when it's hard. When you lead by example, you take responsibility for your actions, both good and bad. You don't blame others, and you don't make excuses. This is one of the most powerful ways to earn respect. It's easy to point fingers when things go wrong, but the true mark of integrity is taking responsibility and learning from your mistakes. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Life will throw obstacles at you, and there will be moments when things don't go as planned. How you respond to those moments speaks volumes. Will you take ownership, learn from them, and keep moving forward? Or will you shy away, place blame, or make excuses? When you act with integrity, you don't shy away from responsibility. Instead, you embrace it. You recognize that setbacks are opportunities for growth, and that your response to adversity is what truly defines you. 4. Be consistent, especially when no one is watching. Integrity is tested when you're alone or when you think no one will notice. It's easy to act right when the spotlight is on you, but the true test is when you think no one is watching. Are you still holding yourself to the same standard of honesty, responsibility, and kindness when no one else is around? This is the essence of acting with integrity. It's not about seeking approval. It's about doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Integrity requires self-mastery. It means you do what's right even when it's inconvenient, difficult, or unpopular. The Stoics didn't need external validation because their integrity came from within. This is the kind of internal strength you should aim for. 5. Inspire others through your example. When you lead by example, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others to do the same. People naturally gravitate toward those who act with integrity. When you live authentically and consistently, others will begin to notice and some will even follow your lead. But here's the thing. You're not doing it for the recognition or praise. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. By staying true to your values, you set the tone for others to follow. Practical exercises to act with integrity. Reflect on your values. Take some time to clarify your core values. Write them down and make a conscious effort to align your actions with those values each day. Accountability check. At the end of each day, reflect on your actions. Did you live up to your values? Where did you fall short? This reflection will help you stay on track and keep your integrity intact. Commit to small acts of integrity. Start by committing to small actions that align with your values. This could be as simple as keeping a promise to yourself or following through on a commitment to someone else. Over time, these small actions add up to build your reputation for integrity. Remember, leading by example isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing what's right even when it's hard and doing it without seeking praise. When you act with integrity, you don't just earn the respect of others, you earn your own self-respect. And that's the foundation for everything else. Number 5. Focus on wisdom over wealth or status. If you want to be the wisest, the smartest, and the most respected, then there's something crucial you need to understand. Focus on wisdom over wealth or status. In a world that often places so much value on money, power, and recognition, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of these external markers of success. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that true fulfillment comes not from what you own or how others perceive you, but from the wisdom you carry within you. Take a moment to think about this. When was the last time you truly felt at peace with yourself? Was it after buying something you've wanted for a long time? Or was it after gaining some recognition, a promotion, or an accolade? Now, think about a time when you gained wisdom, maybe from a difficult experience or a lesson learned the hard way. How did that feel? The Stoics would argue that the peace and satisfaction you get from wisdom is far deeper, far more enduring than anything material wealth or social status could provide. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." What he's getting at is that the chase for wealth can be endless. You might get more money, more recognition, but there will always be something else to chase, something else to desire. This cycle doesn't lead to fulfillment. It leads to dissatisfaction and stress. Wisdom, on the other hand, gives you clarity. It gives you a sense of purpose and direction, regardless of your bank balance or the title on your business card. Now I know what you're probably thinking, but isn't it important to strive for success? Doesn't wealth and status bring freedom, comfort, and security? Sure, those things can have their benefits, but they shouldn't be the driving forces behind your life. When you prioritize wisdom, you'll find that you start making better decisions, not just in terms of finances, but in how you live, how you interact with others, and how you build your life. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic giant, put it perfectly when he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." You see, wisdom is an internal source of strength. When you focus on wisdom, you cultivate the ability to make decisions that align with your values, your goals, and your long-term vision, rather than being swayed by the fleeting nature of wealth or the pressures of social expectations. Imagine how much more powerful you'll feel when your decisions come from a place of deep understanding and self-awareness, rather than from external pressures. So how do you begin to focus on wisdom over wealth or status? It starts with shifting your mindset. Stop measuring your success by how much you have or how impressive your resume looks. Instead, measure your success by your ability to grow, to learn, and to live in alignment with your core values. The Stoics always talked about the importance of controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. Wealth and status, those are often beyond your direct control. But wisdom, that's something you can control every single day. Here are a few practical steps to start focusing on wisdom. Prioritize learning over earning. Every day, dedicate time to learning something new. Whether it's reading, reflecting, or engaging in meaningful conversations, commit to expanding your knowledge and understanding. The Stoics were lifelong learners, constantly sharpening their minds through study, self-reflection, and meditation. This isn't about accumulating knowledge for the sake of bragging rights. It's about deepening your understanding of yourself, others, and the world around you. Set aside time each day to read, write, or think deeply about a topic that interests you. Wisdom isn't just about collecting facts. It's about how you apply them to your life. Detach from external validation. It's easy to get caught up in seeking approval from others. Whether it's chasing promotions, likes on social media, or public recognition, these external markers of success can easily derail your focus. Practice detachment from the need for validation. Understand that your self-worth isn't tied to how much you have or how others see you. As Epictitus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Practice recognizing when you're seeking external approval and shift your focus back to what truly matters: your growth, your wisdom, and your integrity. Reflect on your values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to contribute to the world? When you focus on wisdom, you focus on living in alignment with your values, not just chasing external success. Write down your values, whether it's honesty, kindness, self-discipline, or courage, and make them the foundation of your decision-making. When you align your actions with your values, you create a life of purpose, not one driven by the pursuit of things. Embrace delayed gratification. Wealth and status often come from the desire for immediate rewards, but wisdom comes from understanding that true growth requires time, effort, and patience. Embrace the idea of delayed gratification. Focus on long-term goals and trust that the wisdom you're cultivating today will pay off in the future, whether it's in the form of personal growth, stronger relationships, or a more fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Obstacles can be opportunities to grow wiser, to build resilience, and to move closer to your true purpose. Cultivate self-awareness. Wisdom comes from knowing yourself. Take time each day to reflect on your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I react to challenges? How can I improve tomorrow? Journaling is a great way to track your progress and increase your self-awareness. By understanding yourself better, you can make more conscious decisions and live a life that's rooted in wisdom, not in the pursuit of wealth or status. When you focus on wisdom instead of wealth or status, you free yourself from the constant cycle of comparison and competition. You realize that true fulfillment comes from growth, not from external accumulation. And as you cultivate wisdom, you'll find that you naturally earn the respect of others, because wisdom is magnetic. It draws people in and inspires them to grow alongside you. So today, shift your focus. Pursue wisdom relentlessly and watch as everything else falls into place. Thanks for watching. True wisdom and respect come from living with integrity, self-control, and a deep understanding of the world around you. Let Stoic principles guide you towards becoming the best version of yourself. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more powerful insights. Stay wise, stay respected, and remember, it all starts with you. See you in the next one. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. What if I told you a true narcissist isn't mysterious at all? They run a tired script you can often spot in under a minute. Once you know the cues, you stop getting pulled into their storm and start steering your own ship. In this video, through a calm Stoic lens, we'll decode 5 behaviors that reveal the mask: performative charm, blame that boomerangs, bait that turns to devaluation, entitlement that outruns truth, and sudden fury when boundaries appear. You'll learn how to respond without drama, protect your attention, and walk away with your dignity intact. No shouting matches, no circular debates, just clarity, composure, and control. By the end, you'll feel lighter, sharper, and hard to manipulate. Stay to the very end because I'll share a simple Stoic checkpoint, a 2-question reset you can use in any conversation to keep your mind sovereign and your peace non-negotiable. If you felt drained, confused, or constantly second-guessing yourself, this is your line in the sand. Watch closely, take notes, and try the exercises today. Your freedom from manipulation starts now, and it begins with seeing what's been hiding in plain sight. Number 1, consistently manipulates others to serve their own interests. A narcissist's most consistent weapon isn't anger, arrogance, or even charm. It's manipulation. They shape conversations, twist perceptions, and bend reality until it serves their agenda. This isn't occasional selfishness. It's a constant, calculated effort to position themselves at the center of every outcome. Once said, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." When you remain under the influence of a manipulator, you risk becoming part of a game that slowly erodes your clarity and self-respect. Here's the truth: manipulation works best when you're unaware it's happening. They'll make you doubt your judgment, guilt-trip you into compliance, or create subtle power imbalances so you keep giving and they keep taking. Over time, you may start justifying their behavior or telling yourself you owe them something. That's the trap. The Stoic approach: master your perception. Epictitus taught, men are disturbed not by things but by the views which they take of them. Recognize manipulation for what it is, a tactic to control your actions. Practical exercises: pause before agreeing, don't commit instantly. Train yourself to say, "I'll think about it." Test intentions. Ask direct questions to clarify their motives. Manipulators dislike transparency. Track patterns. Keep a written record of requests, conversations, and outcomes to spot recurring exploitation. Remember, you can't control how a narcissist acts, but you can control how you respond. The moment you stop feeding their strategy, their influence crumbles. You reclaim not only your choices, but your inner peace. The goal is not to match their games, it's to rise above them. If you'd like, I can also give you a sharper, more confrontational Stoic twist to this point, so it hits harder in a self-defense sense. Would you like me to do that? Number 2, lacks genuine empathy and disregards others' feelings. When someone lacks genuine empathy, it's not just a personality flaw, it's a deep void that makes real connection impossible. The Stoics understood the value of seeing the world through another's eyes. Wrote, when another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they hold any particular opinion about you. But a true narcissist never takes that step. They don't step into another's shoes, they trample over them. When you deal with such a person, you'll notice their concern for others is shallow, transactional, or completely absent. Your struggles, emotions, and victories hold no true value for them unless it somehow benefits their ego. This is not mere selfishness. It's a conscious or unconscious refusal to value the humanity of others. And here's the danger. Prolonged exposure to someone like this erodes your own emotional health. You start questioning yourself, doubting your worth, and suppressing your needs just to avoid conflict. The Stoic path teaches the opposite. Maintain your dignity, remain grounded in virtue, and never compromise your self-respect for the approval of someone incapable of offering sincere care. So how do you protect yourself? First, cultivate awareness. When someone consistently dismisses your emotions or shifts conversations back to themselves, take note. Second, create emotional distance. This isn't coldness, it's self-preservation. The Stoics called it a state of inner calm untouchable by another's storms. Third, shift your focus inward. Instead of chasing validation from someone incapable of giving it, strengthen your own self-understanding. Practical exercise. Spend 5 minutes each day reflecting on your interactions. Ask yourself, did I feel heard? Did my emotions matter to them? Did I have to shrink myself to keep the peace? If the answer repeatedly points to neglect or disregard, that's a sign you must draw firmer boundaries. Remember, empathy is not a luxury. It's the foundation of human connection. If someone chooses to live without it, you have a choice too. Either remain trapped in their emotional vacuum or walk your own path where compassion and respect are mutual. Choose the path that honors your peace. The Stoics would remind you, your soul is too valuable to be left in the hands of someone who can't even see it. Number 3, reacts with intense anger or rage when criticized. When you criticize a true narcissist, you're not simply offering feedback, you're threatening the fragile illusion they've built around themselves. And when that illusion cracks, their reaction isn't mild or measured, it's explosive. Once said, if anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after. The narcissist lives in the opposite mindset. Instead of seeking truth, they fight to preserve their false self-image at all costs. This intense anger, sometimes subtle, sometimes volcanic, isn't really about you. It's about their inability to separate their worth from their ego. Criticism, even gentle and constructive, feels like an attack on their very being. Their rage is a shield, a way to push you back into silence so they never have to look inward. You need to see this for what it is, a manipulation. Their fury is designed to make you question yourself, to make you back down, and to keep the balance of power tilted in their favor. But you cannot allow that. A Stoic approach calls you to remain calm and unshaken, remembering that their outburst is a reflection of their weakness, not a measure of your truth. When you stand your ground without matching their rage, you deny them control. You refuse to be dragged into their emotional storm. Epictitus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is where your power lies, in your ability to stay centered, composed, and deliberate while they thrash about. Practical exercises to strengthen your response. Breathe before you respond. When faced with their rage, inhale slowly, count to 4, exhale, count to 4. This prevents reactive speech. Detach the words from the volume. Focus on the actual content, if any, rather than the emotional intensity. Most times, you'll find the argument is hollow. Affirm your boundaries internally. Remind yourself silently, I will not be provoked into surrendering my calm. Rehearse neutral phrases. Keep short, non-escalating responses ready. I hear you. Let's discuss this later. Or, I understand you're upset. These diffuse without submission. If you allow their anger to dictate your behavior, you give them authority over your peace. But when you choose reason over reaction, you reclaim that authority. You step into the stoic posture of a person who is unshaken by noise, unmoved by provocation. In the end, their rage is their prison. Don't let it become yours. Let them burn their energy in fury while you conserve yours for a life of purpose, clarity, and self-mastery. That's how you truly escape, not just from them, but from every chain that anger tries to throw around you. If you'd like, I can also expand this with a short Stoic-style visualization exercise that makes you mentally fireproof against their rage. Would you like me to add that? Number 4 uses charm to mask their true intentions and gain control. Charm can be a beautiful thing when it's genuine, but in the hands of a true narcissist, it becomes a weapon. They wield it like a polished blade, using flattery, warmth, and attentiveness not to build trust, but to disarm you. Once said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." And this is the heart of it. You must learn to see beyond the surface. A narcissist's charm is rarely about kindness. It's about leverage. It's the bait on the hook, the sugar that hides the poison. They know how to mirror your values, echo your thoughts, and present themselves as exactly what you've been searching for. They study your reactions like a chess player reading the board, adjusting every move to pull you closer. By the time you notice their grip, they've already positioned themselves at the center of your decisions. This is why you must train your mind to stay anchored in reality, not swept away by appearances. Seneca reminds us, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Don't let the glow of charm blind you to the small inconsistencies, the things that don't quite add up. Notice when someone's warmth seems transactional, when their praise feels too perfectly timed, when their generosity always leaves them in the position of power. Here's the truth. Charm isn't evil, but in the hands of a manipulator, it's a mask. And masks aren't meant to be trusted, they're meant to be removed. You can't stop others from putting them on, but you can stop yourself from falling for them. Practical exercises to protect yourself. Pause before reacting. If someone's words or actions flood you with excitement or admiration, slow down. Ask yourself, why does this feel so good? What do they gain from my trust? Look for patterns, not moments. Charm can be faked for a while, but character is revealed over time. Pay attention to whether their behavior aligns with their words consistently, even when there's no benefit to them. Guard your inner circle. Don't give access to your deepest thoughts, vulnerabilities, or resources too quickly. Let people earn that privilege over time through demonstrated integrity. Detach from flattery. Compliments are fine, but don't hinge your self-worth on them. When you're not dependent on external praise, charm loses its power over you. Remember, the Stoic path is about clarity and self-mastery. You are not here to be dazzled, you're here to live in truth. If someone's charm feels like a constant performance, it probably is. Don't fear walking away. As Epictitus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, don't fear looking cold or cautious. Fear only the loss of your freedom. Would you like me to also rewrite this point in a short, punchy version so it fits a video script format? That way you'll have both long-form and concise versions ready. Number 5, exploits relationships without remorse or accountability. A true narcissist treats relationships like a marketplace where only their needs matter. They'll take what they want, your time, your trust, your energy, and give back only when it serves their own image. The worst part, they do it without even a flicker of remorse. No pause, no reflection, no accountability. To them, you're not a person with feelings. You're a resource to be mined until you're dry. The Stoics warned against attaching your well-being to people who see you as a means to their own end. Epictitus said, "When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval." That's the mindset you must adopt here. You can't wait for an apology from someone who thrives on never giving one. You can't expect accountability from someone whose entire identity is built on avoiding it. So here's the shift. You stop letting them write the terms of the relationship. You start seeing the patterns early. You refuse to be guilt-tripped when you protect your boundaries. You understand that no is not cruelty, it's self-respect. This isn't about being cold, it's about being clear. When you stay grounded in your values, you stop being bait for emotional manipulation. You stop thinking, maybe if I explain better, they'll understand. They won't. Not because your words aren't good enough, but because accountability is poison to a narcissist's ego. Instead of chasing closure, you create it. You say, "This is where my energy stops flowing towards someone who only drains it." You do this not with rage or drama, but with calm certainty. That's power, a power they can't touch because it doesn't come from their approval. Practical exercises to strengthen this mindset. Boundary rehearsal each morning. State one clear boundary out loud. Repeat it until you feel its weight. For example, I will not allow someone to dismiss my feelings without speaking up. Value anchoring. Write down your top 3 personal values. Whenever you're tempted to bend to please someone, check if the action aligns with those values. If not, hold your line. Accountability audit. Ask yourself weekly, am I letting someone stay in my life who consistently avoids responsibility for their actions? If the answer is yes, start planning your exit. Remember wisdom. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Don't mirror their selfishness, but also don't let it shape your future. You are not here to be an endless well for someone else's ego. You're here to live with dignity, self-respect, and the freedom to give your energy to those who honor it. The moment you stop tolerating exploitation, you reclaim something far more valuable than their company. You reclaim yourself. And once you do, no narcissist will ever hold that kind of power over you again. Before you go, remember this. True strength lies in recognizing toxic patterns and protecting your peace. As Epictitus said, don't let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Now that you've seen the 5 behaviors that reveal a true narcissist, it's up to you to stay vigilant, set clear boundaries, and walk away with dignity. If this video opened your eyes or helped you feel more empowered, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom to build your unshakable mindset. Your journey to freedom starts with awareness. Keep growing, stay grounded, and never settle for anything less than respect. See you in the next one. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca. What if I told you that the very person smiling beside you might secretly be rooting for your downfall? That their support is just a mask, and behind it lies quiet envy, subtle manipulation, and small, deliberate pushes meant to keep you from rising too high. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who stands against you. It's the one who pretends to stand with you. Sabotage from a so-called friend is like poison in water, slow, invisible, and deadly if you don't recognize it in time. And here's the truth. Stoics taught us to guard not just our actions, but our circles. Because if you fail to notice the ones who drain your energy, undermine your progress, or plant seeds of doubt in your mind, you'll find yourself fighting battles you didn't even know existed. In this video, we're uncovering 5 subtle clues that your friend is actually sabotaging you. Some of these will shock you because they're so quiet, yet so destructive. Watch until the very end, because missing even one of these signs could mean letting the wrong person stay close enough to harm you. Your peace, progress, and power depend on it. Number 1, they constantly criticize you disguised as advice. You need to recognize when criticism is wearing a mask. When someone constantly dishes out criticism disguised as advice, it's not kindness or care, it's sabotage in disguise. These so-called friends don't have your best interests at heart. Instead, their words chip away at your confidence, eroding your self-worth one helpful comment at a time. Reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever harmed. The key here is the difference between genuine guidance and disguised criticism. True advice uplifts, empowers, and helps you grow. Toxic criticism under the guise of advice aims to unsettle you, to keep you doubting your own capabilities. You must sharpen your awareness and filter the voices around you. When you hear repeated comments that focus on your flaws or mistakes without offering constructive support, alarm bells should ring. It's not about you fixing every flaw instantly. Self-improvement is a journey, but about discerning whose input truly serves your growth and whose keeps you stuck in insecurity. Start by practicing the art of pause. When you catch yourself bristling at someone's advice, don't react immediately. Reflect. Is this coming from a place of genuine concern or hidden agenda? Journaling your reactions can help here. Write down the advice, your feelings, and what you think the intent might be. Over time, patterns emerge, revealing who consistently offers support and who sows doubt. Another powerful exercise is to repeat this mantra daily. I control what influences my mind and heart. You have sovereignty over your inner world. Toxic words only have power if you let them. Your task is to guard your mental space fiercely. This doesn't mean shutting out all criticism, but cultivating the wisdom to embrace what helps and discard what harms. Remember Seneca's wisdom. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. If you find your so-called friend always slipping into judgment disguised as advice, it's a red flag. Protect your peace by setting boundaries. You don't have to accept every opinion, especially those that undercut your confidence. Take action now. Next time advice feels like an attack, pause, breathe, and question its origin. Decide consciously what to keep and what to let go. This is your path to emotional independence, your fortress against silent sabotage. The power to choose who influences your journey is yours. Claim it with confidence and calm resolve. Number 2, they show up only when they need something. When someone only shows up when they need something from you, it's a glaring red flag. It's like you're a convenient stop on their route, not a person they genuinely care about. You might notice this pattern quietly at first. Maybe they vanish when you're going through something tough, but suddenly reappear when there's something they want. This behavior isn't just disappointing. It's a form of subtle sabotage that chips away at your energy and peace of mind. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect and genuine connection, not ones based on selfish convenience. The Stoics remind us through Epictitus, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen and you will go on well. This doesn't mean you accept toxic patterns passively. It means you recognize reality clearly, without wishful thinking clouding your judgment. You see the truth, and then you decide how to respond. Here's the thing. When someone only shows up for their own benefit, they drain your resources, time, energy, emotional availability, without giving back. It's a one-sided relationship disguised as friendship. If you want to grow stronger, you must learn to spot this early and act decisively. Don't wait until resentment builds or exhaustion hits you like a wall. Begin by reflecting. How often do they reach out to check on you? When was the last time they offered help without a request? If their presence revolves only around their needs, it's time to reconsider your investment in that connection. This isn't about cutting people off impulsively, but about protecting your inner peace. Practice the Stoic exercise of negative visualization here. Imagine a life where you no longer expend your energy on those who don't reciprocate. Feel the freedom that comes with setting clear boundaries and prioritizing those who uplift you. Visualizing this helps build resolve to detach from draining ties without guilt or hesitation. Next, test your boundaries in small ways. When they ask for favors, pause before responding. Ask yourself, is this fair? Am I okay with this imbalance? Saying no sometimes is a profound act of self-respect and a message that you value yourself. Said, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. Refuse to internalize the emotional drain. Instead, see it as a chance to reclaim your power. Remember, real friends are present in joy and hardship alike. They don't just appear as shadows when it suits them. You have the right to demand that your relationships are grounded in authenticity and reciprocity. When you start treating yourself as someone worthy of respect, others will follow your lead or step away. So look closely. When someone only shows up to take, it's a sign to wake up and protect your well-being. Don't let convenience dictate your circle. Choose the quality of your friendships over the quantity. Your peace, growth, and strength depend on it. Number 3, they undermine your confidence subtly over time. Let's talk about something sneaky. How someone you call a friend can chip away at your confidence without you even noticing at first. This isn't about loud, dramatic betrayals. No, it's subtle, like a slow drip wearing down the foundation beneath your feet. You might find yourself doubting your choices, feeling unsure about your abilities, or questioning your worth, all because someone close to you is quietly undermining you. Why does this happen? Because confidence is powerful. It's your inner compass guiding your actions and shaping your reality. When that compass wavers, you lose direction and suddenly you're more vulnerable. A friend who undermines you subtly doesn't do it out in the open. They don't say, I want to sabotage you. Instead, they toss little comments here and there, undermining your decisions, questioning your strengths, or downplaying your achievements. Over time, these small moments accumulate and begin to erode your belief in yourself. But here's the truth. You have the power to stop this erosion. Remember what's said. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your confidence comes from within, and no one outside can take it from you unless you let them. Start by becoming more aware of the subtle digs, those offhand remarks or backhanded compliments that make you second-guess yourself. Don't brush them aside. Reflect on how they make you feel. Write down these moments if it helps. Awareness is your first weapon. Next, challenge those doubts. When a thought creeps in, maybe I'm not good enough, stop and question it. Is it really true, or is it planted by someone trying to shake your foundation? Practicing this mental check builds resilience. The Stoics remind us to distinguish between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and what is other people's opinions. You control your self-worth. Now, don't be afraid to set boundaries. A true friend uplifts you, not chips away at your spirit. If someone consistently makes you feel small or unsure, it's okay to pull back. Protect your energy like a warrior guards their fortress. You owe it to yourself to surround yourself with those who strengthen your confidence. Finally, build your confidence intentionally. Engage in small daily wins. Complete a task you've been avoiding, practice a skill, or affirm your values. Every small victory is like a brick reinforcing your fortress. Over time, those bricks create an unshakable foundation. Remember, your confidence is your armor. Don't let anyone quietly strip it away. Stand tall, be vigilant, and nurture your inner strength every day. In the words of Seneca, no man was ever wise by chance. Your wisdom and confidence are forged through conscious effort. So take action now. Notice the subtle undermining, challenge it, set firm boundaries, and invest in yourself. Your confidence deserves nothing less. Number 4, they don't celebrate your successes genuinely. When you achieve something meaningful, a true friend's joy for you should be unmistakable. But what if the cheer you get feels hollow? What if their congratulations seem forced? Or worse, you catch a glimpse of a subtle resentment lurking beneath their words. This is a powerful clue that your so-called friend might actually be sabotaging your growth rather than supporting it. You deserve relationships that uplift, not those that dim your light. Genuine celebration of your successes reflects a healthy mindset, rooted in mutual respect and goodwill. The Stoic philosopher Seneca reminds us, associate with people who are likely to improve you. If someone can't genuinely celebrate your victories, it's a red flag telling you to reconsider who you allow close to your inner circle. Why does this matter so much? Because your social environment directly impacts your mindset. When those around you begrudge your progress or downplay your achievements, it seeps into your own self-belief. Doubt starts creeping in, and that quiet sabotage chips away at your potential. So, how do you spot this silent sabotage in your friendships? Notice if their enthusiasm is lukewarm or if they quickly shift the conversation back to themselves. Pay attention to the tone behind their words. Is it congratulatory or tinged with envy? Are they quick to point out flaws or risks after you share good news? These subtle behaviors reveal their true feelings. Here, where you step up. Begin by observing your reactions when you share successes. Does hesitation or discomfort arise? That's your intuition warning you. Remember, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Protect your mind by consciously choosing the company that fuels your growth. Next, practice gratitude, but not just for achievements. Be grateful for those who truly celebrate you and let go of relationships that stunt your progress. Don't just tolerate lukewarm support, seek out genuine encouragement. You are worthy of people who clap loudly for your wins. A practical exercise. When you experience success, share it with different friends and watch their reactions carefully. Make a mental note of who celebrates with authenticity and who holds back. Over time, start adjusting your circle accordingly. Another powerful tool is journaling. Write down your feelings after conversations about your achievements. Are you left feeling energized or drained? This self-awareness helps you navigate who truly supports your journey. You have the power to build a tribe that champions your growth, not one that quietly undermines it. By being mindful of who genuinely celebrates your successes, you guard your spirit from toxic sabotage. Take this moment to reflect. Are your friends building you up or quietly tearing you down? Remember Epictitus's wisdom. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Here, think of wealth as emotional richness, a circle that fosters your best self. Choose to surround yourself with those who are not just present, but wholeheartedly present. Let their genuine joy become fuel for your relentless forward momentum. Number 5, they spread rumors or share your personal matters. You've likely felt it before, that unsettling chill when private things you've shared with someone close suddenly become the subject of whispers and sideways glances. When a so-called friend spreads rumors or divulges your personal matters, it's not just a breach of trust, it's a form of sabotage. You deserve better than that. You deserve loyalty. The Stoics remind us that the true measure of friendship lies in virtue, in the integrity of character. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." A real friend safeguards your dignity, your reputation, and your confidence. So when your personal life is paraded around like gossip, you must recognize that this person isn't on your side, they are undermining you. Here's the raw truth. When someone shares your vulnerabilities or private conversations with others, they weaponize your trust against you. That betrayal can chip away at your self-esteem and distract you from your path. But remember, the power to protect your peace lies in your hands. First, you need to tighten your circle. Don't broadcast your inner world to anyone who hasn't earned the right to hold that trust. Reflect on the Stoic principle of Epictitus. Control what is within your power, your boundaries, and who you allow close to you. You control what you share. You control the narrative of your own life. Next, take deliberate action to reclaim your peace. Practice mindful discretion. Before you open up, ask yourself, is this person trustworthy? Will this information be used to build me up or to tear me down? Guard your thoughts, your struggles, your triumphs. This is your fortress. And if you find yourself dealing with the fallout, rumors swirling, reputations questioned, respond with calm dignity. Avoid the temptation to retaliate with bitterness or anger. Taught, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Let your response be strength, not drama. Now here's a practical exercise for you. Make a list of the people you've shared sensitive information with in the past month. Reflect honestly on who has respected your trust and who has not. Then, create clear boundaries, what you will and will not share going forward. This is not about paranoia. It's about protecting your inner peace and personal growth. Lastly, cultivate self-reliance. When your confidence isn't dependent on external validation, rumors lose their power over you. The Stoics teach us that external events do not disturb us, only our judgments about them do. You can choose to see these betrayals as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. So don't let someone else's loose lips become chains around your potential. Stand tall, keep your circle tight, and move forward with unwavering strength. Your life is your story, guard it fiercely. Remember, true friendship is built on trust, respect, and support, never on manipulation or sabotage. Now that you've uncovered these 5 subtle clues, you have the power to protect your peace and reclaim your energy. Keep your circle tight with those who genuinely lift you up. As said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Choose to surround yourself with positivity and integrity. If this video opened your eyes, don't stop here. Share it with someone who needs this insight and subscribe for more wisdom that helps you live stronger, wiser, and free. Stay vigilant, stay grounded, and most importantly, keep growing. Until next time, guard your peace like a true Stoic.